Okay, I just bought this at Walmart. Our headlights are quite foggy on our van, so we're going to use the, we bought this Wipe New Headlight Restore. It says headlights guaranteed to pass inspection for the life of your vehicle. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. So I took out the instructions and read them. I'm going to go outside and I'll talk you through the process. Okay, I'm looking at the instructions. It says, to determine whether you need to use the professional lens polishing pad, pour water onto your headlight lens. The way the lens looks when wet is the way it will appear once treated with Wipe New. If the lens appears crystal clear when wet and hazy only when dry, then you do not need to use the lens polishing pad. Simply wash the lens with soap and water, rinse, and proceed to step 4. If the lens is cloudy slash hazy when wet, proceed to step 2. Now, if it's supposed to look afterwards the way it does when it's wet, then cloudy and hazy when wet is not what I want for a headlight, so I'm not quite sure if this is a good product. So I'm going to wet my headlight, and we'll see how it looks once I wet it. Okay. Okay, so it looks a little bit hazy when I wet it, so I'm going to come over to the other headlight, do the same thing. So a little bit hazy when I wet it, so it looks like I'll go ahead and try the product. What I have to do now is I take this pad, there's like a bluish side and a green side. I'm supposed to wet the headlight, make sure it's wet, and use the green side to rub it off and get the oxidation off. It says that it should appear as a brown liquid. Then once that's done, then I flip it to the gray side and polish the lens. Then wipe it with the towel. So I'm going to do this and then I'll record again. Okay, so I finished using this pad, the green side first, and then the bluish gray side, making sure that the headlight was wet. Okay, you need to make sure it's wet all the time. So then once I use that, then I use this cloth that was included in the kit. It says to dry the headlights thoroughly. So once I dried the headlights, this is the result. Okay, here's the one headlight and here's the other headlight over here. Okay, so that's the result. Now I'm going to go to the next step in the process. So included in the pack are plastic gloves. It says to put them on, so I did. And then this Wipe New cloth. Now I'm going to tear this open like it says. And it says to go across the headlight one time. And in the instructions it has one time in capital letters. And then it says if you have other headlights, do the same thing one time before the wipe dries out. Then it says once the wipe dries out, you are to put once you're done with your headlight, you are to put the cloth somewhere where children can't get it. It'll dry in about an hour or two, and then the headlights will dry to the touch in about an hour or two. Once that's done, then you're supposed to keep the headlights out of any kind of moisture, dew, rain, whatever, for 24 hours. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the cloth, I'm going to wipe the headlight one time, then I'm going to let everything dry. I'm going to put the van in the garage so no dew can get to it, and then in a day, we'll come back and see what the finished product is like. Okay, so I just used the cloth. You can see the headlights. That's how they look right now after I applied the cloth. One time, just like it said. So we'll let it sit for a day and then we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours and this is how the headlights came out. Here's the other one. Big difference from yesterday. It's a little bit, teeny bit yellow, the headlight, but I mean that's expected because it's old. But compared to the fogginess that it was yesterday, it looks absolutely great. I would say that the product is definitely a success, and it's even rained here today. Okay, but I was able to keep the van dry for almost 24 hours. It was probably about 2-3 hours shy of 24 when it rained, and it said to keep it dry for 24 hours. But you can see the result. The results are great, so I would say the product works.